Hey, hello. I hope you are doing super well. And if you're not, that's okay too. Tonight, I wanted to share with you a little book that I bought for the person I live with. I got them a different Christmas gift, but they wanted to use it right away. And it's a long story, but basically as soon as it arrived, I let them open it to have it and use it over the course of this month. So even though it was going to disappear and be wrapped and be put under the tree, it wouldn't be a surprise even so. And I wanted a little gift that was like a surprise. So I bought this little book that was written by John Updike and illustrated by Edward Gorey. John Updike and Edward Gorey. So it's about Christmas, and it's called The 12 Terrors of Christmas. The 12 Terrors of Christmas. John Updike, and what does that word say? I'm reading it backwards. Drawings by Edward Gorey. So I just thought it would be a fun little book. I love Edward Gorey, and the person I live with has like a kind of, they're actually a very optimistic person, but they like kind of punk vibe humor sort of thing, and I think that's the type of humor in this book. So I thought I would share it with you before I wrap it and put it under the tree. You can see there are some bats here, and this man being terrorized, and these two kids. I don't think they're being terrorized. They seem to be reacting more neutrally to it, but let's begin. When my sister was little and read books to herself and her stuffed animals, she would always begin by saying, title page, and make sure all the stuffed animals could see it. I think that's because her kindergarten teacher did the same. That's very cute. So, again, a title page. The 12 Terrors of Christmas by John Updike. Drawings by Edward Gorey. Another little bat opposite the copyright page. And then we begin. I'll read it this way and then I'll show you the illustrations. Number 1. Santa the Man. Loose fitting nylon beard, fake optical twinkle, cheap red suit, funny rummy smell when you sit on his lap. If he's such a big shot, why is he drawing unemployment for 11 months of the year? Something scary and off-key about him, like one of those Stephen King clowns. And here you can see the little kind of holly bat above the text. That's what I'm calling this guy. And then here we have Santa with a kid on his lap, and I think his mom down here, who doesn't look too pleased. Number 2, Santa, the concept. Why would anyone halfway normal want to live at the North Pole on a bunch of shifting ice floes, or stay up all night flying around the sky distributing presents to children of doubtful deservingness? There is a point where altruism becomes sick, or else a sinister cover-up for an international scam. Excellent point. A man of no plausible address, with no apparent source for his considerable wealth, comes down the chimney after midnight while decent, law-abiding citizens are snug in their beds. Is this not, at the least, cause for alarm? So, our little holly bat friend, and here is Santa looking slightly sinister and scooting down the chimney. Number 3, Santa's helpers. Again, what is really going on? Why do these purported elves submit to sweatshop conditions in what must be one of the gloomiest climates in the world, unless they are getting something out of it at our expense? Underclass masochism one day, bloody rebellion the next. The rat-a-tat-tat of tiny hammers may just be the beginning. Our little holly bat, and then we have these elves. This one, is she falling? She looks like she's being tossed back and forth between them. But I'm going to take another mint. I didn't bring any water up with me tonight, so I'm just using mints. Number 4, O Tannenbaum. Suppose it topples over under its weight of bomb-shaped baubles. Suppose it harbors wood borers which will migrate to the furniture. There is something ghastly about a tree, its look of many-limbed paralysis, its shaggy and conscienceless aplomb, encountered in the open, let alone in the living room. At night, you can hear it rustling and slurping water out of the bucket. Holly bat. And here is the Christmas tree. Let me get a look at it. It looks like a very nice Christmas tree, except she is looking at it rather doubtfully. Number 5, tiny reindeer. Hooves that cut through roof shingles like linoleum knives. Unstable flight patterns suggesting to at least one observer, quote, dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, end quote. Fur possibly laden with disease-bearing ticks. Here's this man looking quite fearful at the shingles falling from his house. And our holly bat. Is it a bat? It does have a little face on it. I think it is a holly bat, which is something I just made up. 6, electrocution. It's not just the frayed strings of lights anymore, or the corroded transformer of the plucky little Lionel. It's all those battery packs, those electronic games, those built-in dictionaries, those robots a-sizzle with artificial intelligence. Even the tinsel tingles this year. And isn't it somehow terrible, the way shed tinsel shivers in the gloomy, ice-clogged gutters, not glutters. On here, there's a little boy backed up against a curtain, trying to avoid ending up in the clutches of this, very terrible lamp. This reminds me of like Nightmare Before Christmas vibes. And our little holly bat. Number 7, the carols. They boom and chime from the vaulted ceilings of supermarkets and discount malls, and yet the spirits keep sinking. Have our hearts grown so terribly heavy since childhood? What has happened to us? Why don't they ever play our favorites? What were our favorites? tum tum tum, angels on high, something something, sky. A little holly bat. And here are these people, this little family, going shopping maybe on Black Friday, sale. And these bugles playing Christmas carols. 8. The specials. Was Charlie Brown's voice always so plaintive and grating? Did Bing Crosby always have that little pot belly and walk around with his toes out? Wasn't that Danny Kaye, Fred Astaire, Jimmy Stewart, Grinch a card? Is Vera Ellen still alive? Isn't there something else on, like wrestling or Easter parade? Holly bat. And here's this man with his, I think, lovely dog, so cute, watching the television. And he is over those specials, let me tell you. 9. Fear of not giving enough leads to dizziness in shopping malls, foot fractures on speeded up escalators, thumb and wrist sprain in the course of package manipulation, eye and facial injuries in carton-crowded buses, and fluttering sensations of disorientation and imminent impoverishment. Holly bat. And here's a person, I think, decked out in fur. So they probably have money enough for presents, is my guess. Hurrying out and buying gifts for people. Conversely, 10. Fear of not receiving enough leads to anxious scanning of UPS deliveries and to identity crisis on Christmas morning, as the piles of rumpled wrapping paper and emptied boxes mount higher around every chair but your own. 3 dull neckties and a pair of flannel-lined work gloves. Is this really how they see you? That's funny to me. Holly bat. And here's this man looking aghast at the gifts he has been given and what that may or may not mean about how others perceive him. 11. Fear of returns. The embarrassments, the unseemly haggling, the lost receipts, the allegations of damaged goods, the humiliating descent into mercantilism's boiler room. Holly bat. And here's a man trying to return something. Is that an animal? No, I thought that was an animal hanging from his arm, but it's just some fabric. And they both look like they've seen better days. So. 12. The dark. Oh, how early it comes now. How creepy and green in the gills everyone looks, scrabbling along in drab winter wraps by the phosphorus light of department store windows full of styrofoam snow, mock-ups of a fictitious 1890, and beige mannequins posed with false jauntiness in plaid bathrobes. Is this hell or just an upturn in consumer confidence? Holly bat. And here's a mannequin trying to sell you some kind of light. And yes, there were just 12 terrors. So we are left at the end with this little holly bat there. And that's all. I hope you enjoyed this little book. I thought it was clever and a fun little gift. Maybe we'll read it every year instead of the night before Christmas or something more traditional. Yes, so I hope you are so well. And now see you very, very very soon. Happy holidays.